What's up, YouTube? Back again. Today we're going to be talking about a ton of different stuff. I've made a few upgrades so you guys can maybe tolerate my videos better. So here's our new mic. We've got some high-tech camera holding equipment that I'll show you guys at the end. We're also going to be talking about the Dewalt planer adapter that I was showing you guys in the last video. Once this video is up, we will be only offering this style of the Dewalt planer. I've got a couple that I'm going to be sending out flared still, but after those are gone, it'll be just this. But I got the tolerances on this end just so nice to leave this unglued, and that way you can create any direction you want with your hose, because this stays fixed to the machine. And in case you don't know quite what I'm showing you here, you may recognize this, and this is on, comes with the Dewalt planer, but basically once you buy my adapter, you will be able to just remove this and utilize this for the mounting to the machine. And I've got the three I feel most popular sizes. You can always reach out if you're looking for something else in terms of diameter here, but this is for the 2.5 inch vacuum hose, and that friction fits on the inside here. And then we've got 2.5 inch dust collection hose, and that is 2.5 inch inside diameter of the hose is going to go over this, and then the same thing with the 4 inch. A 4 inch inside diameter hose will comfortably go over this, and then you can clamp it. And I also stopped a print for you guys so you can take a look. Camera issues, hang out. Sorry. So you can take a look at just how thick the parts are here. And so you see that section where it thins out a little bit is actually solid through there, but you can see the infill on the rest of this, and just how thick 5 walls gives you, because it gives you 5 on both sides. And this thing is strong. So that's that. You may be wondering what the hell all this crap is behind me, and these are actually some of my prototypes. And part of what I'm going to be talking about while I show you guys these prototypes is just kind of, in my first video I mentioned I was going to be kind of calling out different copycats, or just the copycat culture in general. You know, I'm not afraid of competition. I wouldn't be showing you guys all of this stuff if I was afraid of that. I don't like when people aren't thinking. If I see that you're trying to improve something, or you're trying to create something, and you are actually thinking, message me up. I will tell you everything I know. But I want to help you guys recognize what what you're doing when you choose to spend money with them instead of someone like me. You know, they're looking at this as a profit thing, and they go, oh man, I could 3D print this and undercut this guy and post it for, you know, 1/3 of the cost, and I'll be happy, right? Is what they're saying. And that's okay. But is what you as a customer needs to recognize is that money is going to, you know, some mustache oil for these little these little dweebs. And when you spend your money with me, I'm going to invest it in trying to solve problems, trying to invent new technologies and products that save lives, that pull contaminants out of the air and make workspaces safer and keep areas cleaner, keep customers happy, and make you or your workers' lives at, you know, doing these tasks much more enjoyable and more efficient. And that's the biggest reason when you see a product, think about where that money's going to go after they make the sale. And I'm going to be showing you guys some of the prototypes here and just talking about them a little bit. So I guess I'll do that. Okay, let's start with this one here. Now this one is the one I had mentioned I made twice, so I've got 2 of these. Let's transfer this mic. So I've got 2 of these, and I still have the prototype that this was kind of the 3.0 first one that worked. This was a revision of that to make it smaller and to make it easier to use. And this is ultimately designed to be ran on a separation device. And let me show you guys some pictures here so you can visualize what I'm talking about with me. And so here is kind of the original drawing of this thing. And then this is what I'm talking about with a separation device. So basically, this vacuum was actually originally focused towards vacuum excavation, and I was using this personally in my company for job site cleanup and also repairing sprinkler systems. I would suck out the valve boxes with this, and basically we've got 2 aluminum cyclones here that are for the dust, and getting the mic cord tangled. So they're for the dust, and this system is ultimately modeled off of a vacuum excavation truck, is where I was kind of working on inspiration for this. And you're basically getting your suction here, and that's where the hose goes. And then you head into your dust cyclones. And this is a kind of a port to check and clear clogs. And once all your main debris are removed in that barrel, the rock and the dirt, you get your dust coming through the cyclones here, and that's your chamber, and it cleans out pretty easy. Just, you know, a lot of times I'm using this outside to do sprinklers, so you're just dumping that right onto the ground when you need to clear it up. And this system works really well. However, the way it's fashioned to this board is kind of unprofessional. It's down and dirty, gets the job done, but that's it. And the way you empty the cyclones, that's great. This method is the best one I've found for kind of DIY style, because it's just efficient. These threads get filled up with dirt, and the suction actually tightens this, and you'll get these eventually stuck. So you want to stay away from any sort of threads. So that works good for that. But the biggest problem with this thing is the filter chamber here. And there's really no problems with it other than it's kind of difficult to change it out or clean it. And it's only a filter. And I've found you want to be running a bag and a filter. That way you are never down. You always have suction if you have a bag in there that you can always replace once it gets full. So these were some of the things I was discovering was, you know, flaws with this thing. And from here is where I set off and started building the other prototype, and that's where I also focused my efforts towards a more shop vac oriented vacuum, because I know I'm going to have more customers there, and once I can obtain those customers' money, I will expand my company into mobile vacuum excavation units, as well as the developments in the home vacuum and construction sector. And then I also want to do some different products that use vacuum. And then I'm also trying to develop a briefcase vacuum for, say, a handyman or a cleaning company. You could go in with this and use it to clean a house basically, and it'd be lightweight and easy to use with your workers. And so let's go take a look at that one. And it is over here, and this is an incomplete prototype. It works, but obviously it needs a lot of critiquing and changing. But I mean, we got a scrub brush taped to the top of this for the handle, and then the bottom of our main cyclone here, the main chamber, has got the threaded plug. This was before I discovered the, I think those are test plugs or something, the red one. But these are two 18-volt motors, and this will run on an 18-volt drill battery, and we can also offer this in 20-volt as well. But you know, same thing with this. We've got some issues with the dynamics of the flow and the type of dynamics these motors apply to the flow, and kind of the parts I'm using. I've got just one of these aluminum cyclones, and it just didn't quite roll like I was hoping, and maybe the filter was part of the issue. However, this little compact design would be inside of a little briefcase, basically, with a shoulder strap. And so that is just kind of another product and inspiration I've had and kind of gone down the rabbit hole with. This is also a cool little unit, and this is under development to be in conjunction with the main cyclone, because this filters out a substantial amount of debris and fine dust, but you're gonna have stuff traveling over. But for now and always, we will be sending it into a bag in the motor tube. However, at some point with development, we'll have one of these on here as well, and you'll basically be able to filter out even more dust, and that's what we get excited about. So this thing, I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about and why I mentioned it was so special. So the biggest problem I have with vacuums, and we'll check this thing out in a second. The biggest problem I have is they do great at sucking up dust, right? Making your environment better, helping the air be cleaner. But guess what? You gotta empty a vacuum. And that's where the fatal flaw of every company's vacuum is, even Dyson's vacuum. And I understand Dyson's stance on trying to create less waste, but if waste is being created to preserve human health and life, then it needs to be utilized. And short story long here, when you empty a vacuum, dust wafts into the air, gets everywhere. And then if you do it into a garbage can that isn't ready to be dumped, every time you throw something in that garbage can, it's then wafting back out. This dust needs to be captured and not released again. And so the thing this vacuum is going to be doing is it's going to have a sealed disposal method, and we're going to be putting tube bags on this so that you can just and create that sealed tube of dust to just throw away safely and keep your air clean, which is the whole reason you sucked the dust up in the first place. So, also, let's take a look at this. This thing is not glued together. Oh, isn't that sick? All right, I'll also show you guys this. Pop this out. And so that is the diameter, okay, at the bottom of this cyclone. And the reason it's this large is because I want this vacuum to handle debris. And that is the other ultra special part about this that I'm not going to be able to show you guys yet. I will eventually have to show it so that you want to buy it even more. But this is going to have an automated dumping system that allows for debris to pass through into the tube bag, and that's not a thing. These other vacuums you're seeing with cyclones are for dust and potentially chip, but most of the time dust, which vacuums, the dust is only a small part of what that's getting sucked up with a vacuum. So And then let me show you guys the other thing here with the latest prototype over there. And this prototype is going to be called the Wizard, or something along those lines. But let me show you guys where we're headed with the tube bag. Basically is what I'm trying to accomplish with it is a diaper genie style system that can be self loaded. So basically I will sell you guys the materials and then you can reload this unit for continued use. And like the Cyclone, the 5 Cyclones there, the second stage, we are in development on these. So the first vacuum I release will likely not have this system, but it would be coming in a second system. So here is kind of the prototype going here. This, oh my gosh, that was not a nice sound. This goes up on the tube on the bottom of the vac, and this unit would then be removable. You'd be able to twist this off the vac, take it over to your bench. But that's what this is a holding canister that you could put bag inside of, and then this goes inside of the bag, and then your bag comes out of here, which allows you to have a predetermined length of bag to utilize as you collect your dust and debris. So this is the device to load the bags. So this would go on, and then you are able to load bag in there, and then you need your ring. It would go inside the bag and bam, screw in, and then you could pull out your bag as you use it. And the issue I'm running into here is the thickness of bag required to be versatile and hold up. You can't get very much inside of that. And I've made other prototypes that are about this tall where I'm achieving around 15 feet, maybe even almost 20, but not quite, of bag that you could utilize. But it's bigger than I want it, it's longer than I want it, and I was daydreaming about much more linear footage of bag. So that is still in development, but that is where the Wizard is headed. So yes, let's take a look at this other Cyclone that is basically the high end of my vacuum development, or not vacuum, of my Cyclone development. And this unit is fully machined, so to speak. It was created by me with my bare hands. And this is, kind of the peak of my machining abilities. And is what this guy is an idea that, again, in my fantasies really worked good. But here we are in reality, and not working so good. So I was looking for the blueprint and I found it. It's over here. So this is the drawing of it, and this is actually kind of the old design of the motor tube. And while I was drawing this, I had the flash of inspiration of how to get a bag in there. And so this was drawn, and then that motor tube on the Wizard was created immediately. So this cyclone here is basically 2 stages with a small stage internally, and your dust comes in and falls through this slot and down into the chamber, and then the residual dust is then sucked into this internal cyclone and then goes out to your vac. And you know, I really thought this thing was gonna work well. And I mean, it did work, don't get me wrong, but not as well as I'd like. So, so your dust goes in there, and then it comes around and gets thrown on this wall. Oh, let's get some light in there. Coming. And then look at that lip on that thing. You see how it's a ramp? Oh, so of course your dust doesn't stand a chance, and it's going down there. And then you've got this pocket, which the reason I think this doesn't work as well as it should is because as this developed in real life, this is a little off kilter, and the flow isn't proper to create a vortex in here. And I was trying to get this in the middle of the vortex of the larger thing, and it didn't work, and it ended up like this, but it's pretty cool. And so, yeah. And basically both of these would be emptied at once because this cap would be plugging both of the chambers. Trying to get it so you can see the reductions there. Oh, there we go. But kind of cool. All right, guys, I'm gonna be setting up and making another video about the M18 Packouts over there, and just normal M18, and also the M12. So I'm gonna set up and do that, and I will see you guys in the next one. Like, subscribe, and let me know if you guys think I should do a little bit more work on this thing. Maybe get base prototyped up and revamp the cyclones and the main chamber. As AVE would say, leave it down in the doobly-doo.